Alrighty, so as I said in the caption, missed a few days. I'm already struggling. It's okay, I'm back at it, even though I just said that again. So, quite a bit has happened, and nothing at the same time. I'm not really, it's kind of weird. I guess I'm doing a lot of processing still because I don't, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I do, and then I don't, and then I do, and then I don't. Maybe that's life, but um, there's a couple things real quick that are on my mind. Is I never mentioned why I didn't have the phone or my phone. So right before we got into the Cascades, as we were walking across the United States, this was one of the bigger stretches of no towns that worried me the most because we had our baby at this point and didn't know where we were staying. And even though it's summer in Oregon in the mountains, it's that fact that we're in the mountains and so it gets cold. So I was worried about it, not having a phone, not having that extra resource. Um, but anyway, I never found it, so that was explaining that last little bit. And then as far as work goes, we've been trying to put things together and coming up with ideas and doing things to earn some money. I spent probably 50 plus hours the first 2 weeks we were back, and um, I don't know, it's like over 50 hours of working, and then several days went by, and the only money I had gotten like $10, and that was a little frustrating at first, but I worked through it, and then not long after was caught up on some payments with some jobs I had done in Salt Lake and stuff, and more opportunities came, and we got some more money, so that's good. I was able to. We bought a car yesterday. Um, $10. We bought it for $10. So, and it's awesome. It's an Oldsmobile. It works. It's got AC. It's got seatbelts that work. Um, has a stereo put in, so we have an audio jack. It's an '89 Oldsmobile. It's called the model is called an '88, so it's pretty sweet. Um, that was cool. That was really exciting. But we were in such a weird place. I don't even know. We were so happy and so excited for it, but I don't know what was going on. It was hard for me to celebrate. Um, we were both kind of struggling yesterday, Amanda and I, but trying to figure out what I need to do. Maybe I just need to keep doing these and do some expression so I can become more authentic, not only in person because I don't have all this stuff clogged up inside of me, but also on camera because I do want to share more, even if it reaches one person or two people or 10 or whatever. I I want it to help somebody, and so I'm working on getting better at these freaking videos um, because I'm pretty scattered and pretty unsure of what I'm going to say most of the time. So I'm sure as I go along, these won't be as bleh. So anyway, um, what else? What has happened? We got to visit some more friends and family. Lately, it's been good as far as conversation and vulnerable conversation, and as Brene Brown would call it, braving the wilderness. I read her book called that, Braving the Wilderness, and it taught me so many wonderful things about um, being vulnerable, willing to speak up, have that uncomfortable conversation, um, having a soft front, so being open, like I said, vulnerable, and having a hard back, so setting boundaries and limits and being firm on it. And so all of this being fierce and kind in conversation, and she's one of my favorite things that she says is call the bullshit, be civil. So when people are giving you that BS, and you just know it's either an assumption or something they made up or a reaction to something or whatever, use good judgment. Um, but to call it out and call it out civilly, there's a big difference in calling somebody out because your ego says call them out and be a jerk and make them feel bad and put them down and let them know that that they're lying or whatever. Or there's the soft approach, the compassionate approach. Still be fierce, but be kind. Be compassionate and be firm. There is a balance. And I experienced some of that with my parents. I had a conversation. My mom was kind of just there. My dad and I were talking, the ones talking, and I practice some things that are a little bit abstract. Um, Lots of different mentoring tools and mindset trainings tools and stuff like that that are a little bit different. And so talking about why I do that and the psychology of it, and at the same time, talking to my dad about all this, and still like, okay, well, where's the money then? If you're practicing all these mindset money tools, and uh, so it was cool though to be able to experience that and to have that conversation because it felt really open. It feels like there's all this tension and there's all this residual conversation that was never had with my parents and a lot of my family, even a bunch of my friends. I love them all, and I know on both ends of the relationship, mine and theirs, there's tons and tons of stuff that hasn't been said or wants to be said, but maybe not knowing how or the right time, or just we haven't had the right opportunity. So this opportunity came up, and we spoke for probably 20, 25 minutes, and once or twice it got a little heated. My girlfriend was downstairs with our baby, and she was taking a nap, and it was about time for her that she was waking up anyways, but she could hear that there was tension, and um, I think she came up and didn't want to step in right away, came in a little bit later, but oh, dog's at it. Hey, well, if you can see that, he's kind of behind the grill. He's just running in circles. That's good. I'm glad he can have so much fun. That's a good example. Just have fun. Just live in the moment. You can run in a circle, burn some energy if you need. Sometimes I have excess energy. I realize if you guys have ever studied into energy types, um, the four energy types, we all have them. It's from Carol Tuttle. There we go. She's an amazing woman. If you're looking for personality types and helping yourself become more authentic and understanding yourself and others, I recommend researching her, Carol Tuttle, and that has helped me a lot in my life. So anyway, um, yeah, have fun, burn some energy off. That's what I was saying. Sorry, see, I'm totally bouncing around. My secondary energy type is a type 1, which is the highest movement, and my primary energy type is a type 4, which is the lowest movement. And so I have this low movement, just stillness, and then these bursts of energy. And so sometimes when I start getting a little bit spastic, I realize, okay, I have a lot of energy, and I'm getting annoying to my girlfriend and stuff, so I need to go burn off some energy, and I get more authentic. So maybe I need to be more like this puppy Augie over here and just go run around for a while. Um, anyway, I was talking about the conversation. So, um, yeah, it got heated a couple times. I got a little bit sensitive, and then I started to realize, okay, you know what? I just need to chill out. I should relax, check in with myself, and think about how do I want to portray this. I don't want to come if I'm trying to explain something um, that's being questioned. I don't like explaining myself, but if somebody is asking me a question and asking me to explain myself, or they're seeking understanding, then I'm going to be genuine about it. And I realize that when I start getting upset and frustrated because they're not getting it or they're not listening, or maybe they're talking in a tone with a lot of frustration in it, well, if I come right back at them with frustration, it's only going to get more heated. That energy is just going to bounce Let me back up here. Everything that everything that's gonna help, everything that I'm trying to say, pretty much, and speak from the heart as much as I can, and that's been really helpful. So I don't know if my camera's skipping or what's going on. Let's just turn around here. Let's see if this way works. Does that work? Is that better? Let me just hold it out here. Oh, that's kind of bright. Okay. Um, maybe not. All right, I'm struggling. The last thing I wanted to say, if my camera will let me, I don't know if this is actually skipping or not. It is on my end. But the last thing I wanted to say was, as we were sitting with a really good friend of ours, catching up. We hadn't seen him since February. Apart, we came to Utah to visit on our walk, and that was the last time we saw him. So we saw him this last weekend, and I don't know what led to it, but I said something like, "You gotta lose your mind to find yourself." And I used to think there was two things to that, and I think they're kind of connected. So as of now, I think there's one part to it mainly, and that's realizing the ego, not necessarily stepping away from it or detaching from it. I don't know what all that means, so I'm not going to say it really, but realizing when it's active. And the ego, from my understanding, is to help keep you safe, because if something is uncomfortable, the brain registers uncomfortable as dangerous, and dangerous as could get hurt or die. And so that's, from my understanding, the point of the ego. Although it starts to get in the way of relationships. So when somebody says something and you're having a conversation, somebody says something and it hits a trigger, a hot button, and you catch yourself getting frustrated or sensitive, you've got a bunch of history, evidence, or stories in your subconscious that kick back a reaction, and you want to be frustrated, you want to tell them off, you want to whatever. Now, that's realizing the ego to me. And so when I step back and I go, okay, let's see, how do I really want to respond to this? How do I really want to talk? What do I want to say? And how do I want to say it? And I want to come from a place of love. I want to come across as firm and confident, but I also want to, not even but, I just want to come across as firm and confident. Whoop, no, it's not live streaming. There we go. Push a button. But kind at the same time, compassionate and firm, fierce and kind. So that's what happened there with our conversation, and brought it back, and it was a really genuine, open conversation. I actually thanked my dad for that discussion and the things that he shared with me, and apologized even, so being vulnerable again, apologized for any times that I got frustrated, and told him, I was probably just being sensitive because I'm still working on some stuff that I feel a little bit self-conscious about, like money and things. Anyway, that's kind of where it was at. So it was a cool, neat experience. So let's say there was this much tension, we scraped the top, and it's cool. It's coming along. I feel a little bit closer to my dad, and we're working on relationships. I am. I don't know if he's intentionally doing it, but I definitely am. Let's switch it back over here one more time. My arm's getting tired. I need to get a tripod for this thing or something. Sorry for the shaky thing, shaky video. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's just kind of figuring out some relationships, figuring out some finances, what we're doing. And for this week, we got our car, we got a bunch of stuff when we went to visit Amanda's parents, and tons of the stuff that we got we're able to spruce up and sell, or just sell it as is and give us a little extra cash that way, and kind of figure out some other things going on, some more long term and better income, because I don't know what was about just under $300 in the past 2 3 weeks is great. It's not the type of money that I want to have to provide for my family. I want to have that and more. It's not quite what I would like to have to provide for my family. I would like to get more. So we're working on that. There's a lot to do, a lot to work on, and yeah, go from there. Um, all right, last thing I want to share is really cool video. I hope I say his name right. Tom Bilyeu, I want to say. shared. I just saw it this morning, and it was talking about excuses. Everybody has them, and they're valid. You know, there's that's the tough part. And without going too much into it, he just basically gets to the end and says, you can have excuses, you can make excuses, or you can make progress. The choice is yours. So we're choosing progress. We're recognizing the excuses. We know what they are. So he said, figure out what it is that you want to become and how, who you need to become that's able to overcome those excuses and bridge that gap between who you are now and who you want to become that is able to overcome or push through those excuses and push past them because they're not serving you, they're not doing you well. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm recognizing now, I'm looking into who I need to become to push through my excuses, my walls, my limitations, and everything. So that's what I'm rooting for. That's what I'm going for, and I'm excited for it. So anyway, thank you guys. I'm gonna try to figure out how to end this video. I'm really not sure. Did I just click this X? Anyway.